Namaste, angels. I'm here to do a client reading. It's exactly 11:44 as I press start on the camera. I love how that tends to happen. So you only see two posted this week online, and one I actually did last week, and I just am now getting around to post it, and I'm doing this one. I'm recording this one, and then I'll be recording the weekly readings. And the reason I'm not doing that many video readings this week is because people have more so been wanting the divine healing cleanse, and I'm so very thrilled about that. I've been doing so many. The response to them has been tremendous, both before I do them, just when they hear about them, when they read about them on the website, and see what I'm offering, and then once a person has them, the praises that they sing about this process and how good they feel. And I got to tell you, it more so than when I do readings, it makes me feel good too, because it always makes me feel good to help. And so when I do readings, I'm helping them too. But to hear people responding to your healing work, that they physically feel better and physiologically feel better. I've had people ask me to provide them with ongoing counseling. I'm not a doctor, but they felt the healing so instantaneously that they want to entrust like all their needs to me now. And not that I'm necessarily going to take them up on that. That's not what I mean. It's just, I'm just very, very thankful to the universe for, allowing me to use my gifts in my purpose and for the higher good, and to really be able to help people. So I've been doing a lot of those. They take a lot out of me, but I'm here refreshed and ready to do this young lady's reading. And I'm calling her young lady. I really don't know how old she is. I don't know anything about her, but the name on her email address, on the email that she sent me. I'm about to do her reading. And we'll see how it goes. I'm going to begin with, because she asked for a twin flame reading, so I'm going to begin with the 5 cards that I lay to see what I can be shown about what type of a relationship this might be. Beginning with creativity. And I got right away that there was something, it was about the feminine. It wasn't about the masculine. Not that he doesn't have something that he could be working on too, but there was a creative outlet that she had put aside that she needs to get back to. And perhaps toward her life purpose. And if I have time, I'll look at life purpose too. I don't have those cards out, but now that that just came to mind. So we'll see how it goes. Beginning with this, also somebody may be an Aquarius or Pisces, because this card always makes me think about the sign of Aquarius, the water bearer, this very nude, angelic being here, standing in the water, surrounded by these very translucent fish. And that's the part that makes me think about Pisces, with this star on her head, standing in front of the moon. It's just very Aquarian to me. Opening 2, inner child. Perhaps this creative outlet is something that she enjoyed doing as a child. Here's another being. This one looks more celestial than angelic, but I see very divine still. I see these clouds here, and she's got stars on her head too, like over the crown chakra, over the third eye chakra. That would be chakras 6 and 7 respectively. And she's got one here over her throat too. So a lot more Aquarius, and maybe something that was left behind in childhood, a creative outlet, a gift, a talent that we need to get back to working on. Creativity back. And opening 2, physical body. This card is totally about vulnerability to me. Now this woman may be angelic too, or even celestial. We can't tell by looking at her. It just looks like a nude human woman. When you're nude, especially with your eyes closed and just nothing to hold on to, nothing to otherwise sustain you. It's just you in a vast space with the universe. You are at your most vulnerable, and she wants to be that way. She is in full surrender. And look how she's benefiting from it. She's now surrounded by this very yellow light. This is like the light of Uriel. This orange light, the light of Ariel. I went for that tonight too. I don't know if you guys can see my orange candle, but I'm using an orange candle for Ariel and a white candle for Christ. Like that was the kind of energy I felt I desired today, you know? And so I understand, I relate to this woman here. And maybe she's here opposite the creativity card, because it's like letting go and allowing the universe to show us what we should be doing right now, on what we should be working. What is our purpose? What's our direction? What's our motivation? Physical body. I'll go one more. Wow. Okay. Well, it was almost meditation, but it's moon tree, which is pretty awesome, because since it was 11:44 when I pressed that button, that means it's almost 12 o'clock. At 12, it will be the 9th, and the 9th is the day of the full moon. So that's one special reason. But another thing that's really special about this card is that it represents sacred marriage, the marriage between heaven and earth, for one thing, but also the marriage between two sacred beings. So that could be for whom I'm reading right now. So I was also opening to meditation, and whenever I do, it indicates that there's a need for it. There's many different kinds of meditation. You don't have to sit in the Indian style position like that woman was, but you're welcome to do that. Whatever kind of meditation with which you feel comfortable, the universe guides you now to get into some creativity back. I'm going to cut. The overall energy is expectancy, and this card is all about us limiting what the universe can do for us by like painting the universe into a box with our like small, simplistic human thoughts. This is a card about dreaming not only big, like dreaming huge. Or, you know, I was going to say, oh, not at all. I don't mean not dreaming at all. But I mean, like, not trying to influence the universe and how it works with us, for us, on our behalf at all by our thoughts. You know, we're, of course, free to release into the universe what we'd like to have, you know, our wishes, our goals, our dreams. You can put them, you know, write them down and save them in the God box or set them afire like I do. But we don't want to tell the universe, like, I want you to do this exactly like this. And because we don't dream big enough, you know, to be that detailed with the universe, with, you know, with what it gives us. So we want to just put something, an idea out there, and allow the universe to fulfill it on its grand scale, the way it can. Wow. Okay. First card is Sacred Unions. I already had Sacred Marriage with Moon Tree. Sacred Union. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And maybe it's like a newly forming one, a blossoming one, an emerging one. Inner child healing required before it can really come into being. The inner child may also be emerging from within, so that you can give it attention, so that you can take note of it, that it needs your attention, it needs your help, it needs healing. You're receiving messages likely to that effect. You're guided to pay attention to them and to your intuition in general. This is another card also of Aquarius for me, with this woman with the star in her head. So there definitely may be an Aquarius involved in this scenario. And this is for like the long haul. This card gives me earth energy, like the energy of earth signs, pentacles. And with regard to a relationship, pentacles indicate, at least for me, like longevity, the long haul, an abundant relationship, not just, with material things and with finances, but with love. And it's also like in reward for surrender to the universe. More nude, angelic and or like celestial or even just human being. More full surrender and vulnerability. But we got us a sacred union. With that, I'm going to go to my next spread then. And speaking of abundance and earth signs and longevity, I'm beginning with the Seven of Earth, but now they're showing me the Empress as well. The Empress represents the signs of Taurus and Libra. So she's both a Queen of Swords and a Queen of Earth. Lavish abundance, give birth to your dreams, nurture yourself and others. This can be a card of like feeling really beautiful, feeling really attractive and confident about yourself. This could apply to you or the masculine or both. Being nurturing to yourself and to other people. It's also a card of abundance for sure. And sitting behind the Seven of Earth, it means like you planted the seeds that were necessary. You made the contacts, then you did the networking, whatever it is that you need. You ignited the spark that you needed to cause something else to happen later. This positive cause and effect in your life. But opening to the Seven of Air. So we got two sevens back to back. This one is not as awesome as the Seven of Earth because this one is about distrust, maybe in yourself, like a lack of confidence, as opposed, very contrary to the Empress. Could be a lack of confidence in yourself or in your partner or in the union. Distrust. Somebody could have trust issues in general. There can be attempts to steal something from you. I call the Seven of Air like the energy of joy stealing and or the joy stealers. Plans that need revision. More going on than meets the eye. Poor timing. Seven of Earth. Opening to the world with Archangel Michael. A job well done. Joy, contentment, and abundance and gratitude. The path toward enlightenment. The world, for me, is about, first of all, it's a number 3. 21 is a number 3. So it can absolutely involve 3 energies and perhaps 3 people and maybe even like a love triangle type of thing. It doesn't have to be. But it represents a long, can be trying, arduous, difficult even, drawn out. Like we all overstay our welcome somewhere or with someone, like in some kind of relationship, romantic or otherwise, or at a job or in a home. We stay too long. Like we know we should have gone by now. And when the world comes through, at least to me, it's about like the fact that the universe is going to help us out of that situation now, since we haven't taken it upon ourselves to change the situation, even though we knew for a while that we needed to, or we should. The universe is going to step in and help us with that. Sitting next to the Seven of Earth, this can be about money, or the material, the earthly. You planted the seeds, but you haven't been where you wanted to be for a while in that regard. This can apply to you or the masculine or both again. So that's finally changing now for the better, because you did something. In part, you helped the Archangel Michael doing the rest, helping you, like moving you out of the energy of being stuck in this regard. And now soon you'll be able to reap what you've sown. Seven of Earth. I'm going to cut. Five of air, an unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. The five of air for me is not only, fives are about change and or conflict, challenging energy. It's a clearing of energy, similar to a 10. Like when the five comes through, you know that the energy is going to change. So if it's negative, if it's difficult, if it's trying, it's just, it's temporary. However, with the five of air specifically for me, it's like difficulty, challenge, trying times in which we ourselves had a hand, whether it was intentional or inadvertent, or malicious or innocent. We did something that, again, the cause and effect, this time maybe not as positive, with not as positive results. And it can also often have to do with me, with being like presumptuous and jumping the gun, like responding or responding too quickly, but rather a better way to say it is reacting and or overreacting before you have all the facts, is often what the five of air is. Your overall energy is the page of water, intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. So this is our first court card. Now we did have the Empress here, so the Empress can definitely be a person, an actual person. Again, maybe a Libra specifically, or a Taurus specifically. The Page of Water is a court card, so I'd say that's a person too, or somebody embodying the energy of a water sign or an actual water sign, a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. The Page of Water is intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. Also heightened psychic abilities. Pages in general bring like news, and this one is like a bearer of news of the emotional or love related area. And when I say emotional, it can be like just something that makes you feel good. News that makes you feel good, that makes you happy. It can be an offer of love too. Wow, masculine is the queen of water, who's tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving, and most often a Scorpio, but can also be a Pisces or Cancer, just like the Page of Water, or anybody taking on these attributes. Tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving is the queen of water. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. You're surrounded by the Four of Earth, being too frivolous or too cautious with money. Good business decisions, giving to those less fortunate. This can also be like withholding love and emotion. This Four of like clinging to yourself, withholding yourself, withholding this love and emotion that's reflected by the Queen of Water. In the masculine subconscious, wow, it's the Two of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, and the positive resolution of a conflict. A lot of love on the table between this and the overall energy of the Page of Water. The feminine, the Six of Earth, which is one of my most favorite cards and definitely reflects love, not just love, unconditional love. And it's another card that for me specifically, at least in this deck, represents not only the planet Venus, but the two zodiac signs that she rules, Libra and Taurus with the Earth, right? And it's about being able to both give and receive love in all forms. So not just romantic, but certainly romantic too. It's about justice and righteousness and equality and equity and being fair and, giving without expecting anything in return, like giving freely and genuinely. And then also being able to accept things, and not feel that you're not worth it and you're not worthy. Surrounded by the three of earth, the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. Actually, I didn't read the six of earth, gifts of time, money, effort, new career opportunities, or receiving a loan or paying off debts. And the three of earth, I read that one to you. This one is about like money. So it could be gifts of money, maybe from like your boss, or gifts of time. Maybe it gives you a day off or something like that, which equates to money that has a value. It's somebody, three of earth, for me is like your boss has a watchful eye on you, and your boss can be the universe too. Keeping a watchful eye on you, wanting to give you a raise, a promotion, a bonus, or some sort of tangible form of gratitude and or recognition for your work. Can also represent a party of three, as I like to call them, or a love triangle, possibly similar to the world, because it's another three. In the feminine subconscious, the 10 of fire. Too much work. Accept help from others. Life is out of balance that leads to stress-related health concerns. So this is about feeling burdened and or burdensome upon somebody else. And it's in here in your subconscious area. So you could be concerned about like someone's generosity towards you. Feeling as if you don't deserve it, you don't warrant it, and that you're really more so of a burden upon them. But this says, no, this says like you deserve, you've earned whatever it is being given to you. Crowning. The three of air, great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. Three of air, about loss, heartbreak, heartache, betrayal. This can be showing up because the five of air was here too. Again, somebody did something, not necessarily malicious, not necessarily intentional, but they did something that could have resulted in this pain that's represented by the three of air here. At the root, renewal, where we go to fix that. Renewal represents the signs of Scorpio, also Leo for me. Represents the planet Pluto, and that's why it represents Scorpio. Pluto rules the zodiac sign of Scorpio. The card and crossing the three of earth, they're very much alike, at least as it relates to the, in the general sense, as it relates to money and time, effort, reward for something. Except for this one is major arcana. This is only minor. Renewal or judgment in the tarot is also about your boss having a watchful eye on you and wanting to reward you in some way, recognize you in some way. As it, in a general sense, it has to do with, not being overly or at all judgmental against yourself or other people. And then as it relates to relationships, anything from like friendship to romantic, any and all types of relationships. It's a make or break moment in a relationship where you decide whether or not, you're going to continue, like where the relationship is going, if anywhere. Sometimes we decide to end relationships. That's what judgment is about. But sitting here next to the two of water, it's another two. It's basically an 11-11. I'd say this relationship is moving forward. That's also what the Queen of Water says, that the relationship is continuing to grow and mirroring the Six of Earth. Again, give and take, balance, justice. It's indicative of forward-moving, positive direction. And at the heart of the matter, release or death, the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. Sitting here underneath the three of air, there could have been a breakup, again, some sort of loss, the end of a relationship. With these cards here in a row, especially the three of air, death and judgment, there could have certainly been the end of a relationship. And maybe that's what the world showed up here for, right? There was an end of a relationship on either side, or maybe both, with someone else, perhaps, that frees up a space. But whatever this was, whenever you see death, it's the end of something. Altogether, or it's the end of something as it existed, and it's about to change. It'll never exist the same way it did before again. It's about to change into something else. Release or death also represents the sign of Scorpio. So I'd say there's definitely a Scorpio involved, or water sign, or somebody very Scorpio-like, somebody behaving like a Scorpio, and perhaps specifically the masculine in this relationship. And it may be him that did something that caused some sort of heartache, that caused some sort of pain, both to himself and to you. It was a mistake. And that's why the Two of Water shows up here in his subconscious, because the Two of Water can definitely be about one seeking forgiveness and wanting to repair a relationship. And again, sitting here next to Judgment, which is about a make or break time in a relationship, that's I want to repair it. Where do we go from here? Hopefully forward, if you'll have me, like that type of thing. Let's see what the romance angels would add to all of this. Beginning with romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. And opening to soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Wow, awesome. Very, very nice. Romantic feelings. Stay optimistic about your life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. This is the kind of card that shows up after the Five of Air, after the Three of Air, when one might think that they've ruined their chances, and the universe comes through to say, no, keep your thoughts up, and we can fix this. Romantic feelings. It's safe for you to love. Somebody may be afraid. I showed you the Seven of Air before, maybe because of instances like this, because of heartache, whether in this relationship or past ones, going all the way back to that inner child. Maybe that child was hurt. And that's caused, the distrust, the trust issues. And, it's always been something. We've never really felt secure in loving. And this, again, can be you, the masculine, or both. The universe comes through to say, like, despite everything you've ever been through, this is going to be different. This is going to be different. This is different already. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all, just like the Six of Earth guides you to do. It's about giving and receiving. A lot of us have difficulty receiving, and we don't even realize it. We'll complain, I gave and gave, and they didn't give me anything. Well, that's because you were blocked off, and they couldn't. You weren't open to receiving it. Romantic feelings is back. I'll go one more. It's very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Romantic feelings. I'm going to cut. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. This I saw quite a bit as I was shuffling. It's your overall energy now. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. And this can be an actual addiction. And it can be like what we would typically think of when we think addiction. It could be like substance abuse. But it certainly doesn't have to be. It can be any kind of toxic dependency upon a person, place, or thing. Or a combination of those. But I did see that card quite a bit as I was shuffling for you. Here atop the Queen of Water, children. Your love life is being affected by children. Water cards themselves can be about children. The Queen of Water indicates somebody older. This can be reflective of a mother in the masculine's life, perhaps. His own, or maybe the mother of his children. Let's see what else. And hopefully we can figure that out. Here atop the Four of Earth, heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So whereas I said earlier that the Four of Earth, I was getting a feeling that it wasn't as much, so much about finances or material as it was possibly one withholding themselves. It can be like withholding themselves to the extent that they're not opening up in conversation either, you know, on any type of meaningful level. Universe guiding that to happen right now too. Here atop the Two of Water. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. So the masculine, again, may be a water sign, and again, perhaps specifically a Scorpio, and or maybe the mother of his children is his ex, and they too a water sign. So he knows that one of the things he needs to do is let go, and that explains this Three of Air here, the pain. It also explains, at least in part, death here at the heart of the matter. This release your ex is crossing death, because this relationship has to be allowed to die in order to give birth to a new one. This has to be allowed to end wholly. Even if they're not in an active relationship, you know, I'm not suggesting that they necessarily are, especially with the world having come through here already. The world indicates that something has ended or is ending. You know, is coming to an end, as does death. But there could be cords still. Cords, attachment, ties that has to be removed. That's the kind of thing I remove with the cleanse, by the way. So one of the reasons why it's making me so good to be able to help people in that area. Because sometimes, as long as your karma, as long as the karma of a situation is resolved, I can remove like the residue of it. And, you know, we try to do this on our own. And sometimes we can. Sometimes we can. I'm not discouraging you from attempting to cut any ties on your own or the masculine. And I'm not trying to sell you anything either. I'm not that person. I never want to be that person. Yeah, but sometimes we can remove those ties and clear up that, remove any sort of unnatural energy from ourselves, and sometimes we can't, and we need help. So the masculine may, you know, can be in either one of those situations where there can be residual attachment between him and maybe the mother of his child or children. Here atop the Six of Earth for you, exchange some flirty behavior. The Venus, the Empress, will help you with this. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. So again, I was saying the Empress is about feeling attractive and flirty and being attractive and flirty. And as I say this, I told you I also connect the Six of Earth to Venus. This card also represents Venus to me. So that's what this is saying. It's saying be that Empress, you know, be that sexy, seductive Empress, and exchange some banter that may lead to the heart-to-heart conversations, lead to something deeper, a more meaningful discussion. Here atop the Three of Earth, you're being rewarded. This card is about reward and recognition because you deserve it. You deserve love. You are lovable. This card, very Cupid and Sagittarius to me. Maybe that's what the fire sign is about, the fire energy. Maybe somebody is a Sagittarius, like moon or rising or something. Here atop this Ten of Fire and the difficulty, and the feeling of being burdened and or burdensome upon somebody else. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. But it's not just your parents. It's any and everybody. Can be friends too. Would have to be a good friend, I would imagine, because it has to be somebody that's so impactful upon your life that they have prevented you. They've been a block to you moving forward. If you have anybody like that in your life, unresolved issues, you need to resolve them. So here comes judgment. Judgment comes in here again. It's sitting next to judgment, and it's connected to this too. Not just to the romantic side of it, but it's connected to your family issue too. Where do we go from here? Whatever that relationship is, whomever this person is that held you back, that was a block to you, or their energy was a block to you from moving forward in your life or love life. We can either repair the relationship or we have to walk away from it. But one way or another, it has to change, has to transform with the energy of death, right? It can never exist the way that it had been existing, up until this point again, because that way is painful. That way causes stress-related health concerns. That way causes me to feel burdened. That way causes me to feel burdensome. So we need to be free. That has to be allowed to die. Crowning here atop the 3 of air. Deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Perhaps you don't know about the children, or you didn't know about the children or child. That just came in. That could be the deception. This can apply to you too. And sometimes it's lying to ourselves. It's not even necessarily lying to the other person. It's lying to ourselves. But with deception crossing the heart-to-heart conversation too, I think specifically the masculine definitely has a load on his chest that he needs to release. And maybe this time that we're about to embark upon, or it's 12:22 now, between the Capricorn full moon, Venus in Gemini, so there's your communication there, Mercury in Cancer, between all that, for the opening the lines of a communication. And then the Capricorn full moon again, causing us to revisit some issues, judgment. Not only that, Pluto in opposition. Pluto is judgment. So this card again, causing us to face things. And we have this judgment at the root with the deception crowning. So there's going to definitely be some things that come to light. And my feeling and what I've been saying about this whole time, not just the Capricorn moon again by itself, but all these other stuff, it's going to be about breakthroughs or breakdowns. And breakdowns ultimately become breakthroughs because, we should learn from them and have some sort of revelation as to, where we go from here to take us right back full circle to the Pluto and the judgment. Here, speaking of judgment, here atop it is attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So this is indicative of a relationship that can be healed because there's a connection here. And it's a universal connection. This is based on the law of attraction. When we put out the positivity, that's what we're going to get back. We put out that love that we deserve, that's what we're going to get back to. And here atop the death card, release, worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So maybe we're waiting for whatever needs to die to die. I'm going to go to the Ascended Masters too, beginning with health and healing and Hilarion. And we already know some things have to be healed. So it makes sense that this is the card with which they wanted me to start. Opening 2, Father, Husband, Brother, Son, and Osiris. This can be about the masculine. This can be about you. Maybe the person with whom you need to heal a relationship is a masculine energy in your life. Maybe your father or husband or ex-husband or brother or son, father of your child or children or something too. Father, husband, brother, son back. And opening 2, you are seeing this situation accurately. That's what Horus says. That's what King Osiris's son has to say about it. And notice this more full moon here. I think that's saying, something definitely going to change now, again, in this period with, and I didn't name one of the most crucial parts of this either. Chiron, the quote unquote wounded healer, retrograde in Pisces. Now, depending upon, where, if and where your personal Chiron sits in your chart, that may affect how you're affected by it. But certainly the wounded healer could play a role here too. Father, husband, brother, son. And opening 2, teacher, which tends to be life, right? The school of hard knocks, the school of experience when it comes to these readings. Teacher back. I'm going to cut. Crystals. This can play a part in the healing. You may want to work with some crystals. For cutting cords, you might want to use some selenite. For love, you might want to use some rose quartz or hematite or maybe those 2. I mean, there's a lot more, but those are the ones that came to mind. So let me stick with that. The overall energy is peace offering, white buffalo calf woman. When I pull this card, I really dislike pulling it during a private reading, a personal reading, because somebody dies whenever I pull this card. And it tends not to have anything to do, thankfully, knock on wood, with the person for whom I'm reading. Like a celebrity will pass away. People surrounding the collective. So like removed sort of family members, like family friends and things like that, pass away. I've seen where it comes to our own families, a lot of like aunts and uncles, cousins, that type of thing. But it really, really tends not to be the person for whom I'm reading, not to be connected to them. It's usually more broad, more like a celebrity or something. But as this card relates to the actual couple, it's about giving and receiving. You got to be able to, or willing to extend the olive branch or to accept the olive branch if it's handed to you. And the overall energy, I think pretty appropriately based on the other cards I've seen. Open your heart to love, says Jesus. So it's very much akin to this one and being able to give and receive. Atop children and the Queen of Water is Let It Go with Kuan Yin. This can be referring to the dead relationship here with these children's mother or whomever this represents. Sometimes even if it's our own mother, unfortunately, sometimes those relationships have to be let go of too. I don't necessarily feel that it's his own mother, though. I have to be honest. Here atop the heart-to-heart conversations and the 4 of Earth, see the other person's point of view. This can be your point of view. This can be her point of view. Whomever let it go, or of whatever he has to let go. It could be this scenario. It could be you. It could be both. but it's about being open to, like, sort of thinking like a Gemini. We have that ability to, like, see all sides of a situation. That's what the masculine is guided to do here, in order to be like the most fair, or maybe to be like a Libra, right? Justice and fairness, equality, balance. See the other person's point of view from that perspective. Getting back to Venus. Here, atop release your ex and the Two of Water is choose peace. So even in ending a relationship and in allowing it to die, we're not going to try to antagonize one another if we can avoid that. We want to amicably, we want to have a heart-to-heart conversation even with this person and amicably split. Look, you know, this is obviously over. It's been over for a long time. The energy of the world. It's been over. You know it. I know it. For both of our sake and the sake of this child, children, we have to end this. It's that type of conversation. Feminine, for you, here atop the Six of Earth is another card of Earth, for one thing. But it's Queen of Shun and drink more water. This tends to be indicative of often ascension, but for you, I think it can be an actual health issue. And, you know, I don't mean something serious that you should panic or whatever, but with this coming up crowning, and we already had this 10 of fire down here, I think one of the issues can be dehydration and maybe forgetting to drink water because you're of yourself in all the areas that, you know, you can be or should be. And so you're encouraged to drink more water. Remain hydrated. Surrounding you. Aw, twin flame. Atop, you deserve love. This is the kind of love you deserve, says the universe in these cards. Twin flame with Angus. Very nice. Here atop the 10 of fire and the healing family issues, Horus is back saying, yes, we're seeing this situation accurately. Crowning atop the 3 of air and deception is retreat into nature, says the green man. So he wants you to go out, connect with the earth. That's the feeling I was getting from Oshun too, that it was about the earth. So it's a Venus. This is more Venus, basically. Oshun, and you know, as Venus, a different vibration. Getting out, doing some meditation outside if you can. If you live in an area that's at all conducive to that, do that. Also, when the green man shows up, it's always good news too. It means abundance on its way, both, you know, financial, material, and love. More Venus. She's the goddess of love and money. And here at the root, atop attraction and renewal or judgment, the power of joy. Healing this relationship, fixing this relationship will bring you both emotional fulfillment. And that can be exactly what the Page of Water is here representing. When I picked this up, behind it, I have to tell you, is yet another 3. An awakening, or the Hanged Man, which represents the sign of Pisces. So that would still be water. Look at things from a different perspective. Okay, you're at a temporary standstill. So that it's important to be yourself. It's important to be wholly honest in this time while you're taking this step. It's not a time to deceive even yourself. Not a time to front, as they say. We gotta, you know, keep it 100, as we say here in New York. And when I picked that up, it's the 9 of fire. That's underneath it, also upright. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created, which could be the union, this, you know, twin flame union. Have courage and believe in yourself. This is a card about persevering. Keep on going. Keep pushing. Don't let, you know, whatever has been negative or even stressful or painful to stop you. There's a desire to move on. A search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. This can be moving on from dead relationships. This can be moving on as in moving forward. Like let's just move on. Let's just get past this. Can have more than one meaning. And it also is about ascension and spiritual growth. And yet again, another card upright. It's the 10 of water. A contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met and you have trustworthy relationships. That, maybe after you persevere, is with what you would end up. That's like the 10 of Cups, essentially. Here at the heart of the matter, top worth waiting for, and death is right. And more full moon. I think somebody needs to write another person their walking papers, as they say. A Dear John letter, or the other kind of papers, quote unquote papers, as Usher calls them in his song. I think this is writing someone or something off, or maybe both. Ending a relationship, allowing it to die, not just transform, but die. It's overdone. That needs to happen there. Let's get you some advice. From this Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle to the masculine, love is his advice. Like follow your heart, basically. For you, message from afar. This can be further to the first spread where I was saying you were receiving messages and your intuition and need to pay attention to it. And this can be telepathic between the two of you, as I'm also feeling. From the angels to the masculine, strength. I guess he's going to need it. Strength represents the sign of Leo. Can also be here representing other fire signs, Sagittarius, Aries. Great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. And for you, it's the Six of Water, which can be an issue about children. I don't know why that's coming out for, well, maybe because of this. Yeah, this can be an issue about children. And these children can reflect you too. They this is sitting here on the masculine side. Your children would also affect him. Maybe he had some sort of hang up about your children or child, and he's guided to let that go. That's another possibility too. All that just came out from this. The Six of Water doesn't only represent children though. It can represent your own childhood and being nostalgic, looking back. So maybe that inner child again that needs to be addressed. And it's also the soulmate relationship card, or like the past life relationship card of the tarot. Memories from your history of childhood, issues regarding children, and romanticizing the past. From the romance deck to the masculine, make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And for you, finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now, but you've planted the seed that you needed to plant. And again, the green man coming through to deliver abundance. That's what he does. From the Ascended Masters to the masculine, that peace offering card, white buffalo calf woman, is back. Perhaps he is to be the one to extend the olive branch to you. This can be showing up by him if he's going to be the recipient of it too. He may be one of these stubborn people who otherwise wouldn't take it, even if he was in the wrong. He's guided to, either be willing to give or receive the olive branch. And from you, or for you. Work your magic, says Saint Germain. This is a card saying, you have the tools, the abilities, the capability, to handle your business, to work out these issues here that you have. So just do it, basically, like Nike. Just do it. I hope that you enjoy your reading and you find it helpful, dear. Namaste, Angel.